Hello
Anyway,
and
I'll go
welcome
now.
back to League Racing Highlights. Today we're at WOR Spain and a fantastic opportunity to extend our championship lead. So, with that being said though, the end of Q1 is a one-shot qualifying effectively due to the track drying out and becoming a situation that is faster and faster and faster the later that you go and the later you can leave the lap. So, we have to adjust, we have to get used, and we have to fly on this lap, otherwise it will be a Q1 elimination and a disaster starting our qualifying session and race day of Spa here today. Quite difficult conditions to get used to, and you can see I'm actually trying to cool the tyres on the straight here to minimise the overheating in the middle sector that can be possible during these conditions. Turns out to be a bit of a mistake actually, as I lost quite a bit of grip in the middle sector. You can see I'm already sliding around a bit too much, so possibly not cooling down on the tyres on the straight would have been a better decision. That's all hindsight, and that's all knowledge to be taken forward in future opportunities. Quite weird scenario, you know, just trying to maximize this one lap. But I can also say I haven't been uploading YouTube videos recently that much. I came back yesterday with a Kota track guide, but yeah, recently I haven't been uploading that many YouTube videos just due to the simple fact I've been quite ill. You probably heard it towards the end of the commentaries I was doing before as well, that to be honest I was stuttering, I wasn't that clear in my voice, just simply because I had quite a bad chest infection. So yeah, I was driving with this as well, so I just wanted to take some time away to sort of heal a little bit, get myself back together, and then I can continue making the commentaries and the videos in a much better way than I could have been doing before. With that being said though, we're coming through the final apexes of the lap. You can see the lap times are rolling and thick and fast, and we did quite a conservative lap and went P9, what is going to be enough to be putting us through into Q2 and our first lap here in Q2, readjusting to the dry conditions. Purple middle sector, 0.9 in the middle sector, and for a banker of Q2, that was quite flying, to be honest. Tamascal 722 at the top of the leaderboard right now as we come into the final chicane. Break a little bit wide of the apex, a bit of a snap in the middle as well, but nevertheless get on the power, running up to start finish line, and we do a 0.5. So we went 2 temps clear at the top of the leaderboard, and that lap is enough to be putting us through into Q3. First lap, attacking the middle sector, all over the curves, letting the car fly, letting the car float, and trying to maximize the grip potential while minimizing the overheating of the surface of the tire through the left into No Name, what I think ironically now is called No Name, into Huon, was easily flat out in F124. I think even in F123 was easily flat out as well, if my memory serves me correctly. Into Piff Paff, or the Fangio chicane. I like to call it Piff Paff, a bit more fun to be honest, and then onto the exit. It's been a very, very, very nice middle sector up until that point, running a little bit wide, asking too much of the front axle, and it did not bite, it did not obey, and just understeered wide from the apex and cost us about a tenth of a second running into Blanchimont. Easily flat out, of course, as now we head into the bus stop chicane. Barry does a 277, hit the brake, and you can see we hit the first apex pretty well, let it rotate, and we actually got a pretty good final chicane there, and a very successful end to the lap, and we did a 493. So not ideal as a lap, but now this is where it counts. Final lap of qualifying, Q3, maximum grip, maximum potential, and maximum opportunity into turn 1. We actually outbrake ourselves a little bit, run wide, and that's about a tenth of a second of a mistake. Slam, dunk, bam, time lost, and we are not getting that back on the rest of the lap. All we could do is maximize, and all we could do is try to get our potential as high as possible. From memory, I don't think I got my tyres completely perfect before starting the lap, so that's also my mistake, as now you're going to see going into the chicane, we run a little bit wide, and then again the front tyres are just not picking up so far, they're not biting into the surface of the track. thus far on this lap. But now, as we go through the downhill right-hander, the front axle is now starting to bite, it's starting to rotate, it's starting to grip into no name, massive front grip, and now we're picking up the lap time, now we're picking up the confidence as we go into P1 one more time. Easily flat out, trying to minimize the distance around the corner, and we do that pretty successfully into Piff Path. And last time we had a pretty good Piff Path, which was going to be quite difficult to find the time, but nevertheless we are gaining on the delta, the left hand, a bit of a snap on the exit, but overall was a net gain into the right hand, a lovely inside curbstone there, and a nice exit to go with that. So as you can see on the bottom of the screen, 1.5 temps up on the delta, and we could have easily been two, maybe 3 temps up on the delta at this point. Realistically 2.5 though, as now we head into the final chicane as Bari does a 2.00. We're going to hit the brake one more time in this qualifying session, let the car rotate through the curbstone, and that was a pretty successful final chicane once again, running up to the line, and that is going to be putting us P6 on the grid, 1.6 temps away from pole position here today. Well, I would say, considering my turn 1 was a pretty successful lap, we could have easily been in the 0.2s, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. But now it is race time here in Spain. We're in Spa today, and not the luxury resort, the racetrack. And we're going to go around the outside, almost contact on the exit with our championship rival, Tom Manley. We both almost ended up in the wall and in the gravel there, but now we're running up for Rouge Radion as well in the slipstream, and DRS is not going to be wide open as it's lap 1 in the slipstream. Going to make it 3 wide down into the braking zone, but are we going to commit or are we going to back out? Yes, we're going to back out of that. It's not worth it for us on lap 1. Now trying to look for the good exits out of these chicanes, and you can see Tom Manley up ahead is going to get a bit stuck behind as he goes up the inside of Alfie Butcher. We're going to find a gap. We're going to look around the outside, trying to get this track position critical on lap 1 against a championship rival around the outside, and we have got the position on the inside of No Name up into P5 here, lap 1 of Spa, and that is the start that we needed. Almost ended up in the gravel on the exit of turn 1, and it almost was race over in that situation, but nevertheless we are here, and we can see Alfie Butcher up ahead, newly signed with McLaren, and I'm really excited for him and what he could do on this upcoming season of F1 esports as well. Of course, was with Haas last year / this year, with the season running over the New Year time. Won 2 races, I think it was. So yeah, super fast, super talented, and a really pleasure to race against as well. So going into this game, you can see we have a little look down the inside, but that was more just to cover off Tom Manley behind us to make sure that cars behind couldn't have a cheeky lunge and try to catch us off guard. Now on lap 4 you can see Alfie Butcher up ahead, and he's all over the back of Tamascal, who's all over the back of Barry Borman, and now we're going down the inside. Tamascal out of shape, and you can see we actually broke a lot there just to make sure that we could avoid any pending accidents as a result of that, but luckily everyone got for the chicane cleanly. Now side by side with Alfie and Tamas down the pit straight, you can see Tamas big snap on the brakes again, and now Alfie's looking all over the back of him as we're running up to Rouge and Radion. I smell an opportunity though, and we're going to try and make the most of it, running up for Rouge, and now we're going to switch on our overtake button, and we're going to be able to get past Alfie Butcher in the straight. You can see the slipstream acting extremely powerful down into the exit of Sector 1. Lap 9, 3 wide up ahead, and we don't want any of that. We're here to try and extend our championship lead, and that is high risk, and you can see almost hitting the back of Bari as a big snap, and now Tom Manley's upper inside. We make contact in the middle of the apex, we get pushed a little bit wide into No Name mode. We have the inside line, and it's going to be critical to hold track position, and now into what will be Puon, and we are going to have the inside line, and crisis averted. He's still putting pressure to us though, but we're able to hold the position ahead of Tom Manley, and that could have been bad. That could have been a front wind broken. That could have been a championship opportunity gone in that situation. But we was just about to avoid the back of Bari and hold our track position, and now there was a car who crashed and it is going to be a virtual safety car here on lap 10. You can see everyone's going to peel into the pit lane, and everyone's going to be boxing for their set of medium tyres, and just getting the car slowed down. Don't need a silly penalty in this situation. So yeah, easy decision right now. Going to go to a set of medium compound tyres, and pretty much everyone who I'm racing is going to be going to the medium compound tyres as well. VSC ending, and now in the pit lane, let off the button so we can start getting back up to speed. And now coming out of the pit lane exit, throw the car into third gear, into second, try to get the traction, and onto the power we go.
Can you update what I need to do to tyre save, please?
You can hear me say, let me know what we need to do to tyre save, as it was a little bit early to be going into these medium compound tyres, so tyre dig at the end of the race is going to be quite an important factor. Here on lap 14 now, you can see running in P4, Kian is up ahead, Tamas, and then Bardi Borman up in the race lead at the moment. You can see Duncan Hoffman behind, who is very aggressive, really fair. I like racing with him a lot, but I know he will go through a gap if the opportunity is there. So now we're going to be putting some pressure on Kian, and we're going to be looking up the inside as well with Tamas there. Try to go down the inside of two cars, but we back out of that, but we're able to get the position against Kian and then move up into P3. And this is what I was talking about with Duncan. Down the inside he goes, and he will always look for the gap down the inside. So now that I know he's like this, I know he's super aggressive, that I'm always going to be able to cover off those gaps and not leave a window of opportunity for him by sleeping myself. When I say sleeping, I mean just to not be alert, not to be aware of the situation and the areas around me as we look down the inside, but more to try pressure cars into a mistake. And now you can see Bari and Tamas are battling here on lap 16 of this race. You see Duncan Hoffman up behind us. You can see I learned from him going up the inside of Kian that I'm not going to leave a gap for him. I'm not going to be silly, and I'm always going to be aware of the situations around me as we look around the outside of Bari into the breaker zone of the bus stop chicane. We leave each other racing room side by side. Beautiful racing. We did get a little bit of a tyre hook, but I think that was down to lag, to be honest. That was completely down to lag. But now looking around the outside, deep on the brakes, trying to hang our track position ahead of Duncan to make sure that we retain it as we go up through Eau Rouge and Radion, and we were able to do that quite nicely. But we are quite low on the battery relatively, and we could be vulnerable if Duncan decides to press quite a lot. We use quite a bit of overtake button, look into the outside, and now we get squeezed to the grass. But now we're boxed in with Tamas as well, and this is not looking good for us. You see Duncan goes down the inside, we leave him in the racing room, through the left-hander, back on the power, and now we are just about able to retain P3 in this race. But this is getting spicy. This is getting intense, and we want these points to extend our championship lead. Here, lap 17 of the race, you can see Tamas, Bari, myself, Duncan, Isfan, Pookie, and we are just going to be all in the slipstream with each other as we head down to the chicane. You can see we're deep in the slipstream. Duncan is putting some pressure behind us, so we have to start using a bit of forward momentum to defend, and we go down the inside more to defense. Duncan tries to go around the outside of us, but we're just going to hold the outside line, and that's going to be more than enough for us to get the traction and retain our P3 position. Isfan, Pookie down the inside of Duncan, and now we're going to make contact into turn 1, and we have to avoid a little bit. You can see me looking behind just to make sure we don't get tagged by them. And now here on lap 18 we're in P3, and now lap 19 Tamas is starting to slow up for the DRS games, but we are wise to that, and we're going to be trying to play our own race. P4 has broken the DRS to P5, so we are quite secure already for a top 4 position, providing nothing silly happens. Bari, Tamas, myself, Duncan, all playing DRS games at this point, trying to strategically put ourselves in the best opportunity to win the race. What is natural, of course, we're trying to win the race. So DRS games, DRS chicken is going to be at play. I want to avoid these games because it doesn't help me in the championship battle, taking those risks. Of course, maybe it can help me win an individual race, but it doesn't help me win a championship by just doing these silly games and risking everything just for 7 points. now going up through Rouge Radion. You can see Duncan is putting a lot of pressure behind us as well. Tamask is up ahead with no DRS, and you can see he's flashing on the battery, and now we're going to try and go around the outside of him into the chicane, round the outside, deep on the brake, leaving the space, but we're able to get up into P2, and this is where I want to be. This is the opportunity. I do want to win this race. I do want to take the win. As you can see, Duncan goes up the inside of Tamask, and we're watching this battle closely to see who we might need to be defending against going forward. And now you can see behind us, Duncan just gets thrown into the gravel on the left-hander of No Name. But this is where I want to be. This is the opportunity for me to win this race, but more importantly, extend my championship lead. Tom Manley, my championship rival, isn't even in the top 5 positions of the race at the moment, so even finishing P2 is a fantastic result for us to try and extend this championship lead. So Bari, 7 tenths ahead, who's done a phenomenal job in the middle sector. Phenomenal. We have so much battery, but we're not looking to risk everything for the race win. We don't need to risk everything. I know Bari. Bari has been in F1 Esports from 2019. He was teammates even in Mercedes in 2020. I mean, he was in F1 Esports in 2020, my bad, when we was in teammates at Mercedes. But Bari has nothing to lose in this situation. Bari has everything to gain, where I have quite a lot to lose, to be honest. And just extending the championship lead is my goal in this situation. Of course I want to win. I drive to win. I really have that hunger to win as well. But overall, big picture, it makes more sense to try and extend the championship lead. So you can see I'm barely using any battery as we're running up through the straight, just to be nice and close to Bari, but I'm not trying to attack him down the straight. I don't need to take a risk. I don't need to do something silly. And now going into the middle sector, through the right, through the left, I do something silly. I invalidate here and get a big snap of wheel spin, almost ended up in the outside wall there, and that was one hell of a save, as we're in the middle sector right now, and Bari is absolutely flying. I have to say, he was absolutely scintillating in this middle sector. I suspect he was running a bit lower wing than him, maybe, because yeah, he was so quick in these corners. But you can see, still not really using my battery, still not really pushing that much in this situation, just trying to bring home this P2. A little bit wide in this apex, that didn't help me, and a bit wide again. The front tyre is just falling away a little bit, and that meant that Bari was able to get 6.5 tenths ahead of us, and now that is game over. You can see, just using the battery a little bit just to consolidate and be nice and close to Bari, make sure that Duncan can't have a chance of doing anything to us in this chain, in the sense of a dive bomb or even an overtake. But P2 in this race, another chance to extend the championship, and it is looking good for us so far as we're heading into the remaining races of this season. We are
another podium
comfy in the championship lead as we're going to be heading into next race. You can see P2 in this race, another podium secured in the WOR season, and you can see that Tom Manley isn't even in the top 10, even in the provisional standing. So that's fantastic for us. That's really good for us, and we're able to extend our championship lead. So yeah, very happy with that. And like I say, videos will be back much more consistently now, and I'm much more feeling healthy and good. And I'm getting my full breath back, what is really nice. So yeah, good stuff. Thank you everyone for watching. Grazie ragazzi, and I will catch you for the next video very soon. If my memory serves me correctly, will be PSGL Vegas. That should be interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.